Legitimate question.
It's actually on the sheet that I gave you.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
Yeah, they've added it. It's $10,000 per seal coffin.
Wow. It's also very expensive. And I'm sorry, one more follow-up, because you mentioned the crops and does the disease, I don't know what the right terminology is to ask this question. Does Ebola have a shelf life? In other words, does if the Ebola virus is left in the soil, can it live indefinitely in the soil, or does it die after a certain time?
A vaccine is a parasite, right? So without a host, it can't live that long, but it has a limited, we'll say, lifespan or shelf life. So after a while, it will die, but it usually gets to the host faster than that.
The person who's in charge of social issues? Sorry. So what are some of the social ramifications of this epidemic on the world at large?
Well, so this is a big one. During the summer especially, there was all over all social media, Twitter, Vine, all these types of things. There was mostly jokes about Ebola, but a lot of people were also really scared about it because when you have something that just in the social media services like that, it blows up and people are not sure what it really is or how they're going to contact it or if they're going to contact it. So that it needs to be contained more in the social side of it. So if we have professionals going at and saying this is what it is, that's what needs to happen, and this is how you can contact it, then it makes everybody's life a lot safer. And when you go on a social media site, you see, oh, Ebola this, Ebola that, you know what to really expect, and that's just a fluke.
Also, besides that, when celebrities come on board with the whole plan and everyone knowing about Ebola, then if they let out a hashtag, then the hashtag could become viral and it could become a worldwide tweet and more people will know about it and not only know, they might not know so much about the disease, but they know it exists and that it's dangerous and that it's there.
So, I guess I have a comment with a brief follow-up kind of question. I remember when this was very much in the news every day, and it seems to me that people in the United States, because that's the society or community that I know best, because we're here, cared about Ebola and were panicked about Ebola when the doctor and the nurse came back from West Africa to the United States. It seems to me that if it's not and I may be wrong about this, but it seems to me, just following up on what Mr. Mallett spoke about with the social, ramifications, if it's not touching people in the United States directly, if they don't perceive a direct threat, I don't know how large the care level is going to be. Because it's a problem in West Africa, it's a problem in South Africa. It's, what does it got to do with us? And I imagine that probably the same is true for Europe. So my question is, if that's true, and you can certainly dispute that, if you think I'm wrong, how are we going to fill up all these stadiums, with at $1,000 a head tickets to cure a disease that people don't really feel as an immediate threat and doesn't touch their own lives? Why would people fill up? I think it's pronounced Wembley, by the way. Why would people fill up Wembley Stadium?
Well, this is one of the parts that we said, when we get all celebrities and people that they do care about to come to these things, and we don't put Ebola really at the forefront of it, it's sort of like taking a back seat to just the entertainment value. Then people are going to come, they're going to fill up the stadiums, and then that money that they're indirectly giving, what they're directly giving it to us, but they don't really say, oh, this is for Ebola, they're just doing it to get into the stadium, then we're going to use that money towards Ebola. So we don't really need them to care about it so much as opposed to their money.
Morris, sorry, you're on education, yes?
Yes.
What are we doing now in terms of our educational institutions to make our young adults aware of Ebola and the ramifications and all the things that you're talking about?
We are trying to get the medical schools and all types of schools to try to put Ebola into the curriculum. It's an intriguing disease that everybody wants to learn about because it's been current events for the past year, so people want to learn about it and want to know more about it.
Mrs. Wiener, you have a question?
Yeah, I guess a follow-up to a visitor's question. I remember reading about, I guess, a month or so ago that really the cases of Ebola were dying down in Africa. Like there was like one left and then they found another one. So is there still panic, you know, and is there reason to panic if it seems to be dying off on its own? And does your plan change or shift towards other maybe epidemics based on whether one epidemic, you know, kind of decreases or, I don't know if you could work that.
So one case is still important because clearly one case can cause a whole country to have the disease again. Especially a non-developed country will be affected by that one case. So we're trying to take this outbreak and lessen it by using the solution.
So, follow-up question. So it seemed like, again, from the article that I was reading, that the Africans had learned a lot about how to manage the disease. Like one thing was that one problem, which is why I think there's still confidence around here, was that most African tribes sleep with the dead until they're buried. So that turned out obviously not to be such a good idea in terms of the spread of the disease. So is your plan focused more on trying to eradicate it in Africa, or is it also, in other words, because in other words, once with the location, right, where it was mostly, you know, where the outbreak was the greatest was where once those people became informed, we did see a tremendous decrease in the epidemic.
Well, I think the plan operates on two different levels. It operates on a containment level and then an I don't know how to say that word, level. So obviously, I think first step is containment because everybody is really concerned about their own personal health and not so much about the Africans' health. So like if they know safely that Ebola isn't going to come to the United States because there's indicators in airports and there's steel coffins and all these types of things, and Ebola virus is going to stop spreading and it's not going to come to their country, everybody will feel a lot safer. And then in those countries, then we gotta start working on eradicating the disease completely. And so far, the case Ebola has been dying down recently, but it is because of organizations like the WHO, the World Health Organization, and also other things like Red Cross and all these types of organizations that are getting out there and trying to like stop certain tribal customs like sleeping with the dead when they're dead and they're gonna give you Ebola. So.
So I have a question that's not about the facts, and I think that you guys are really very well researched, very well read up. I have a question about you. A question about your own feelings. You're given this assignment. You're given the topic. You didn't choose this. And I imagine that when I imagine you probably didn't know too much about Ebola when you started. And again, I go back to what I asked about before. It's a disease from halfway around the world. It's not really touching Americans too much. How did you feel when you first got the assignment about the whole idea? Not about the idea of the assignment, about the phenomenon of Ebola. And how do you feel now that you've really looked into it? Has there been a change about your attitude, or it's a feeling question? There's no right or wrong, and it's directed to anybody you'd like to answer.
Truthfully, at the beginning, and I saw it in West Africa, and then I realized that the cases were really going down as of recently. So I was indifferent to it. I honestly didn't feel like I would be affected by this Ebola disease that's in West Africa that's really happening. But then, as I researched and learned more about it, and there was actually a case on the subway system in New York, and there was a case in Dallas, there was a case in Atlanta, I realized that it could actually come and affect me. Even so, I have to be well prepared and well read up about it so that I am able to avoid getting the Ebola disease and maybe spreading it to others.
I'd like to hear from Sari, we didn't have a chance to talk.
Sorry, my feeling also. Okay, so, in the summer, the topic of Ebola was popular than it is now for most people. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was also not really, I was also indifferent to the topic, to the issue of it, because, like from what I know about Africa, it has other diseases and it's dirty, it's not such great living conditions. But when I found out that it has the ability to spread to Texas, which is in the United States, and it's so close to affect us, it makes me scared. So now I want to learn about it for myself so I can be prepared if it comes here. Like what Lauren said, it came to the New York subway. I want to be prepared, not to expose myself to it in any way.
So I'd like to follow up Rabbi Zucker's question, and I'll say along the same lines, but I more want to know about what was your takeaway from this project? Like, what are you walking away with now, having gone through this whole process? And actually, if it would be okay with the facilitators, I'd like to open it up to the kids that are sitting in the audience as well. What was your takeaway? What did you walk away now saying, wow, I've done this project and I'm going to remember?
Dave, go.
After this project, I realized that there are certain things that I thought was funny in social media, or just like something that's like a fad or something like that. People just like aren't educated. It's like it's worth it to like look more into what I'm looking at when I'm scrolling down my Twitter feed or my Instagram. It's like just there's so many things out there that I don't know about, but they're trending around the world, and I should like take a second to look at what I'm looking at and really like pay attention really to like the world around me a little bit more. And also I realize how much things really do cost, and like appreciate the value of money that I have and stuff like that.
Great takeaway. Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so first I also I saw it on social media. I'm like, and everyone would be like, oh my God, Ebola, like they take it as a joke. Like even when we got the project, we're like, Ebola, like we get the project, Ebola. And then as you went on, like you see how much you take advantage of, and how like you don't appreciate that we don't have this, like we didn't have the disease, and then you realize that you also get scared. Like why are people making this as a joke? That so many people are dying, and that it could even if it comes to us, like as like they all said, it could come to us also, and we're just like making a joke out of it, and that's these.
So for the presentation, I did all the costs and everything, and so I had to research a lot of material, and I learned how to research. Mine's not really a feeling, but I really learned how to research. It didn't just come up on Google. I had to search and do some math and learn how to figure it out.
Alice?
So I learned that the importance of not being so secluded from the world, even if there are problems that can affect us, like the school or New York doesn't get the problem or doesn't hit us with disease. It's still important to be educated about things going on around the world and our global issues.
I think one important lesson that I took away from this was that we're not living in a bubble. Even though it may not be happening around here and somewhere local around us, it's happening somewhere in the world. So we should always keep our eyes open, and like what Alice said, we should be educated about it. So I think, and we shouldn't be selfish about it. Oh, maybe it's happening in Africa, not here. Okay, so help them. If you have that question, why should we be helping Africa or America? Like I had that question, the same question before, and I asked Misty, I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, it doesn't make sense. So then she told me, and then we all had a discussion, the whole class had a discussion, like, should America, a great country, be taking care of African, a developing country, right? So we may not have the answer to that, right? That's why it's still developing. But what we should take away with this project and how we should end it is that things are going on around us. We should, open our eyes to it and be educated.
I want to, like, in terms of also reflecting on what you got out of it, someone mentioned like research skills, and I had to do math, figure stuff out. What other skills did you get? Not just like learning about the topic, but like what other life skills did you learn from doing the project?
How many?
Yeah.
Okay, so I also learned about teamwork and collaborating with other students that I might not be like best friends with them, but also other grades, but it helped me collaborate with them and talk to them about the project, and it helped me learn that I shouldn't only be with people that I'm best friends with, like there's other people that I could work with, and that they also have, they're also very smart, and their knowledge could help me with the project too. And when we were doing the slides, everyone commented on what we should fix, and that helped our presentation become better. And they told us, oh, this doesn't look so well, fix this, or they just told us what information we're missing, and that ended up helping us with the presentation.
I have a comment also on collaboration, that not always like how like this difference like that we spoke about like in scholars between like a team and a group. That difference in a group is that all different people take a different thing upon themselves and then they put it all together. So when we did this, everyone didn't just say, okay, everyone search Ebola and then we'll compare what we got. Everyone got a different topic, everyone researched it, got to know about their topic, and then we brought together as a class and everyone discussed what they had. We made one solution out of everything. So it was just about how being in a group also helps you, because you learn a lot about your topic, and then also you can learn from your friends what they did also.
Okay, so like I'm a really, really, really stubborn person. You never want to argue with me for anything. So now we get to the class and
I'll argue with you.
So we get to the class and Steve goes, okay, why should the government, we need to come up with reasons why the government should help us with the vaccine for Ebola. My instant reaction was, the government shouldn't. Like, don't even argue with me, no. I was like, it doesn't make sense. The government needs people, like, I'm very, like, harsh, raw, like, before I go, the government needs death, like, you know, overpopulation is bad. Like, I think that there's a cure for cancer in the government, and they just don't want to give it because, you know, then we're going to overpopulate, they need doctors. So I'm like, absolutely not, no shot. The government shouldn't join us. It's a dumb assignment. I don't like it. So I'm sitting in the class. I don't say one word the whole first class. Just no, not my thing. I disagree with the whole class. So now I go with my friends. I go, it's the dumbest.
Esther, how do you really feel?
Now I go to all my friends. Why would the government help us? I mean, don't they need, like, death is important, you know? So they all look at me like I'm crazy out of my mind. They're like, no, the government wants to save people. I'm crazy. And then I get to the next class and I realize that there's no shot at redirecting the conversation. Like, this is the like, we have to solve this Ebola problem. So then I, like, upon myself took it that I needed to stop being so stubborn, put my little stubborn elf to the side, like, and realize that I need to open my mind to other people's opinions and realize that, okay, this is what we're doing. I'm a stubborn. I need to realize that I might not be right. I'm with another 35 other kids who we're all on one side, so I'm gonna have to shift a little and look at this in a different pair of eyes, and that's what I did. And so I came out with a very different opinion than I went in with.
Very good.
Were any of you influenced by, sorry,
Esther?
Esther's opinion? No.
Newton's first theory.
Okay, any other
Great job.
questions?
Great job.